In this lecture, we are going to continue implementing the authorization functionality in our Express application. So let's go to VS Code. So far we have implemented two checks. In the first check, we are checking if the request header contains the authorization header or not. If it does not contain the authorization header, we are throwing an error from this function, from this middleware function. But if the authorization header exists and if it starts with bearer key, in that case, we are validating that token. So to validate that token, we are using the verify method of JWT. So this verify method, it is going to return us the decoded payload from the JSON web token if the validation is successful. But if the token was not valid, in that case, it is going to throw an error. And we are handling that error in the global error handling middleware. So basically, if the token is not valid, it can throw two types of error. It can be either JSON web token error or it can be token expired error. So both of those errors we are handling here. And the error will be thrown if the token was not valid. If the token was valid, it will return us the decoded token. In this decoded token, we will have the decoded payload from the JSON web token. So in the last lecture, we saw that the decoded payload will look something like this, where we will have the user ID, the issue date, and the expiration timestamp. Now, the next thing which we are going to do is we are going to check if the token is valid, the user who is making the request, if that user still exists in the database or not. Because if you remember, the token which we are issuing when a user logs in, it is valid for 30 days. So it is possible that when the token was issued, the user might have deleted his account after that. Or it is also possible that the user did not delete his account, but an admin did. So there can be any reason why the user account was deleted after the token was issued for that user. That means the issued token still exists with the client, but the user itself is not existing in the database. And in that case, the token which was issued before the user got deleted, it should not be considered a valid token for accessing the protected route. And for that, after verifying the token, we will also make sure that the user still has an account with our application before allowing him to access a protected route. So here what I'm going to do is, if I go to Postman, currently I'm using the JSON web token of this user, johnsmith@gmail.com. So this user exists in our database. As you can see, that user with that email johnsmith@gmail.com exists in our database. And for this user, the token was created today, but this token will expire after 30 days. So after the token has been issued for this user, if this user gets deleted from the database, let me go back to Postman and let me actually delete this user. Okay, so johnsmith@gmail.com, that user has been deleted. And let me copy this JSON web token from here. Let's go to batch request, and there in the request header for this bearer key, let me specify that JSON web token. So it's already the same token here. So now, even if the user is deleted and we have a valid token for that user, so the user is deleted after the token was issued. So this token is valid for 30 days. So if I use this token to update a resource, let's say in the request body, I'm going to set the cheapest price to 200. And if I go ahead and if I send this request, we have received 200 OK response. And you will also see the cheapest price has changed to 200. So even if the user is deleted, the user is not present in the database. Since we have a valid access token, using that access token, we are able to access the protected route. And this we want to avoid. So for that, let's go back to VS Code. And here we are going to write that logic. So now what we want is, we want to find the user for which that token was issued. Now, how we will know for which user the token was issued? Well, we can get the user ID of the user for which the token was issued from this decoded token. Because if I show you that decoded token, it looks something like this. In this decoded token, we have the user ID of the user for which that token was issued. So using this user ID, we are going to check if that user exists in the database or not. So let's go back to VS Code, and here on the user model, I'm going to use a method find by ID. And to this find by ID method, we are going to pass this user ID. And to get this user ID on this decoded token, we are going to access user ID property. Okay. And we know that this find by ID method is going to return us a query. We are going to await for that query to get executed and return us the result. And here, if the user with the given user ID is found, this find by ID method is going to return us that user. Let's go ahead and let's assign that user to a variable. Let's call it user. But if the user with that user ID is not found, in that case, this find by ID method is going to return undefined. So this user will be assigned with undefined. So in the next line, we are going to write an if statement where we are going to check if this user is not a falsy value. So if this user is undefined, that means a user with that user ID is not found. So here, this user will be undefined, and undefined is a falsy value. So before that, if I used not operator, this expression, this condition will become true. And if the user is not found, that means if this user is undefined, here I'm going to create a variable, an error object actually. And to create this error object, again, we are going to use the app error class. And here I'm going to say user does not exist. Let me make this U in uppercase. Access denied. Okay, and here again, I'm going to set the status code as 401, which stands for unauthorized. And then we are going to call the global error handling middleware by calling this next function and passing this error object to that next function. And with this, if I save the changes and let's go to Postman. And again, if I try to make this request, remember that for this request in the headers, we have attached a JSON web token which was issued to a deleted user. This JSON web token was issued for John Smith, but that user we have deleted from the database. So now when we are sending the request, we should get an error. And even though this JSON web token is valid, we should not have access to the protected route. If I send this request, we are getting 401 unauthorized and status as failed. So the status is correct, but for some reason, I'm not seeing the error message. And this might be because the way we have defined our global error handling middleware. So if I go to error controller.js, and in there, if I go to prod errors, so this error has occurred when we are running our application in production mode, right? So in the prod errors, you will see that what we are doing is, okay, not here. You see, in the else block, what we are doing is from the original error object, we are creating a shallow copy of that error object, and we are assigning that shallow copy to this app error variable. Now remember that this error object has some properties like the message property or the stack property, which is non-enumerable. And when we have non-enumerable properties on an object, sometimes while creating the shallow copy, it does not copy those properties. So message property is one non-enumerable property. So it is possible that when we are creating this shallow copy here, when this error was raised, right, when this error was raised, the control will reach here. And since we are in the production mode, this else block will be executed. And the first thing which we are doing is we are creating a shallow copy of that error object. Now, as I said, the message property is a non-enumerable property. So in some cases, that message property might not get copied in the shallow copy. So in that case, on the shallow copy, the message property will not be available. It will be undefined. And that's why we are not seeing the message here. So this is a known issue. And to fix this, all we need to do is we can just add a message property explicitly. So when we are creating the shallow copy, we are extracting all the properties from the error object, and then in this object we are going to add a property called message, and we are going to assign that message with error.message. Okay, so we are extracting all the enumerable properties from the error object. We are creating a message property, and to that we are assigning the value of the message property from error object. And now we should not have this error. Let's save the changes. Let's go back to Postman and let's test it. And now you will see we also have the message property where it says user does not exist, access denied. And there is one more thing which I noticed, which I need to fix, and that is in the auth controller.js, when we are calling the global error handling middleware, after that we also need to return from here. Otherwise, after calling this global error handling middleware, the next function which we are writing here, it is also going to execute, and it is going to call the next middleware in this stack. And this we want to avoid, because once the global error handling middleware has been called and the error response is sent to the client, we don't want to call the next middleware in this stack. So from here, from where we are calling the global error handling middleware, let's return in the same way in the above if statement also, where we are calling this global error handling middleware. From here also, let's return. Okay, let's save the changes. So now we have implemented this logic where even if the access token is valid, so in this case, this access token is a valid access token. It has not expired yet and it has not been manipulated. So this access token is a valid access token, but the user to which this access token was issued, that user is deleted from the database. So in that case, even though the access token is a valid access token, we are not allowing access to the protected route. And that implementation we have written here. All right. Now, next what we are going to do is, let's say if the token is valid and the user for which that token was issued, that user also exists in the database. In that case, the next thing which we are going to check is, we are going to check if that user has changed his password after the token was issued. Because if that is the case, then also we are not going to allow the user to access the protected route. Because once the token was issued, after that, if the user has changed his password, we are going to ask the user to log in again with the new password and generate a new access token, and then try to access the protected route. And that we are going to implement in our next lecture. Now, there is one more rectification I want to do, and that is in the login function. So here somewhere I'm sending 403 response. Okay, here I'm sending a 403 response, which stands for forbidden, but here I wanted to set the status as unauthorized. So for that, the status code is 401. Okay, rest other things should be same. With this, let me save the changes. And now in the next lecture, let's go ahead and let's implement this check. So this is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.